what this is? Before penicillins were commercially available, people used to die because of streptococcal and staphylococcal infections. So after Alexander Fleming made the discovery that a mold, Penicillium notatum, was inhibiting growth of microorganisms in cultures. After Alexander Fleming made this discovery and before penicillin was commercially available, people used to grow this mold, Penicillium notatum, in bedpans. And they used to consume this mold so that they get cured of the disease. And this is a picture of such a bedpan which was used during early 1940s for growing Penicillium notatum. So the beta-lactam antibiotics, they are called as beta-lactam antibiotics because they have a beta-lactam ring in their structure. They are classified into 4 groups depending upon the beta-lactam ring they are having. So they are divided into penicillins, cephalosporins, carbapenems and monobactam. So the difference between these agents is that they have difference in the beta-lactam ring which they are having in their structures. So the mechanism of action of penicillins. So before we understand the mechanism of action of penicillins, we should understand how the bacterial cell wall synthesis differs in gram-positive and gram-negative organisms and how bacterial cell wall is synthesized. So gram-positive organism has something called as a peptidoglycan as cell wall. And in gram-positive organisms, this peptidoglycan layers, they are very thick and multiple layers of peptidoglycan is seen. And in gram-negative organisms, there is peptidoglycan, but the number of layers of peptidoglycan is less. So if you see in both gram-positive organisms and gram-negative organisms, there is presence of peptidoglycan. So this peptidoglycan is an integral part of the cell wall in both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. So now we will see how this peptidoglycan is synthesized. Imagine this is a bacterial cell. And this peptidoglycan is synthesized by this bacteria, and the basic unit of peptidoglycan layer is 2 compounds called as N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine. These are short abbreviated as NAM and NAG. So these are the basic units of peptidoglycan of bacterial cell wall, and these are formed inside the bacterial cell wall. So once this NAM and NAG are formed inside the bacterial cell wall, 1 unit of NAM will bond with 1 unit of NAG to form the basic structural substance of peptidoglycan cell wall. After N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine link to each other, they will form bonds between each other to form long chains. Okay. And these are the bonds that will be formed in between 1 unit of NAM-NAG and another unit of NAM and NAG. So these long chains will be transported to the extracellular of the bacteria. These chains of N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine will be transported to the extracellular of the bacteria. Many long chains of N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine will be transported to the extracellular, and these chains form the peptidoglycan layer of bacterial cell wall. But this peptidoglycan is incomplete. This peptidoglycan of the bacterial cell wall is incomplete because they do not have structural integrity. They are just layers of long chains of N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine. They do not have any structural integrity. So the structural integrity is produced by formation of bonds between N-acetyl muramic acid of one peptidoglycan chain to N-acetyl muramic acid of another peptidoglycan chain. So these are the bonds which are formed between two chains of N-acetylmuramic acid and N-acetylglucosamine. So this is the most integral step of bacterial cell wall synthesis, because this will result in the formation of mature peptidoglycan layer of the bacterial cell.